we also spoke about earlier. How do you come up with a startup idea? I mean, since we're on this topic and we've spoken about a canvas which actually works if you have a startup idea or if you're working on a startup. Otherwise, this is kind of redundant, right? So, how do you come up with a startup idea? Okay, how did you come up with a startup idea? What was your journey like?
I wanted to bypass
So your problem statement was actually something else in the beginning. Your problem statement was that the person who has gotten the MRI done does not know what has actually happened to them, right? It wasn't that the doctor might skip something. So this was your problem statement, and then what did you come up with?
When I researched this, I think इसमें ज़्यादा लोगों की curiosity नहीं है. They don't want to, they just want to get everything.
Right.
So then I think, what if the diagnosis is wrong?
Right. And research करा इस पे.
जो ये आप radiologist lab they mark the error.
So how often do doctors actually miss something or the other?
I don't have the particular person. If they like me, but it is like a second opinion.
But they do miss it. Right? So this is a problem that existed, and then he came up with a solution. How did you start making t-shirts?
एक्चुअली हमें क्या दिक्कत आ रही थी जो मतलब मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ बनाया तो उसको दिक्कत आ रही थी उसको ओवरसाइज टी शर्ट सस्ते में नहीं मिल रही एंड अगर सस्ते में मिल रही तो वो क्वालिटी की नहीं मिल रही लाइक ऐसे
कितना जीएसएम आपका
220
कितना
220
ओके एंड कितने की बेचते हो आप
600 अगर वन साइड प्रिंट है तो 500
ठीक है डिजाइन के साथ या ओके एंड प्लेन कितने की
प्लेन
450 प्लेन ठीक है ऊपर से डिलीवरी चार्ज कितना
नहीं डिलीवरी चार्ज
इंक्लूड टैक्सेस सब included so 450 total I can get a t-shirt at my home right so आपने प्रॉब्लम ये देखी कि लोगों को सस्ते में एक अच्छी क्वालिटी टी-शर्ट चाहिए राइट अगर मैं आज H&M भी जाता हूँ ना कुछ लेने के लिए वो सिर्फ एक सीजन के लिए चलेगी टी-शर्ट गारंटी है वो एक सीजन के ऊपर चल ही नहीं सकती सो जो लोकल ब्रांड्स है ना their t-shirts actually do have better quality they do have better material there they last longer than H&M or Zara because that's all fast fashion right so ठीक है identified a gap you came up with a solution Vizra, how do the rest of you come up with a startup idea? Let's take a wild guess. क्या हो सकता है?
Should be like about like this smart. Like,
Sorry?
It should be like specific, measurable, achievable, and also relevant at time of like it should be achievable.
Right. So
Then the 5 objectives.
marketable, relevance. ठीक है. Last one.
Time bound.
Time bounding.
It should be in.
But something similar to
Yeah, it should be
time bound.
able to achieve it like this.
Basically, viability is key होनी चाहिए, right? So, how do you come up with a startup idea? And still, what is the fundamental thing? You identify some problems around you in society that your friends are experiencing, that your parents are experiencing. So let's take 3 different categories. Problems that your grandparents are experiencing. Can you give me 2 problems? Sorry? खाना बनाना, right? So इसके लिए solution we can come up with a solution. Let's say your parents are now working in Bangalore, your grandparents are alone. That's a legitimate problem. Could there be solutions for that? Startup solutions, right? Some other problem. I'll give you grandparents का problem. उनको phone नहीं use कर पाते हैं अच्छी तरह. Right? What if there is a service where a person actually comes and trains them in technology? तो हम कर सकते हैं ना आराम से. मैं सोच रहा हूँ मैं कर लेता हूँ. Seriously, it's great. I used to go help some elderly people and there are so many other people who are partially blind, they don't have stable hands, phone नहीं उठाया जाता, तो कहाँ से सीखेंगे? YouTube कहाँ पर खोलेंगे? उनको YouTube ही नहीं खोलना आता, तो वीडियो कहाँ से देखेंगे? And they're afraid to learn technology. So you can come up with a solution for this. That's what you feel. I work with elderly people who do want the solution, who do want help. Because see, when they're elderly people, उनके बच्चे चले गए कनाडा, उनके बच्चे चले गए यूएस, उनको फेसटाइम करना होता है, बट उनको फेसटाइम करना ही नहीं आता, right? But again, you need to talk to more people to actually understand if this is your life. Now, let's take the second category. Grandparents हो गए, parents. Two problems that parents face. दो एज ग्रुप लेते हैं पेरेंट्स के, एक with younger children, एक with children of your age, right? I think that is मतलब बहुत ही जनरल. मैं कहता हूँ कि ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रॉब्लम है बच्चों के लिए, जो छोटे बच्चों के लिए स्कूल कैसे पहुँचा रहे हैं उनको, उसके लिए बसेस एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, बट बसेस में पुलिंग होती है, सेफ्टी कैसे इंश्योर कर रहे हो? स्कूल नहीं करना चाहती है, दूसरे स्कूल में एडमिशन नहीं मिलती, क्या करोगे? है ना? The conditions are not favorable. How do I get my child nutritious food? There are multiple problems that you are facing. Parents of your age, let's say jobs. How do I ensure that the child gets a legitimate job, a proper well-paying job? Skills कैसे develop होंगे? Training कैसे होने वाली है? Right? फिर अब नीचे आते हैं आपके एज ग्रुप पे. आप कौन सी प्रॉब्लम्स फेस कर रहे हो? दो प्रॉब्लम्स का बात करते हैं. अब तो एग्जाम्पल तो ले ही आते हैं ना, तो we can think of something. So tell me. So we'll start with her, we'll get to you, and then we'll get to three more people, right?
I feel sometimes when we are searching for particular problem, we tend to have too many solutions, and we get confused about which one to do. So then we can have something concise.
Right. Let's break down this problem. So you say that we have too many solutions, so you don't know which one to choose. Let's break it down. मैं आपको अपने एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. मैं ना एक बार चले गया अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ डिनर के लिए. उधर जी मैंने गाड़ी लगा ली थी. गाड़ी जब मैं लगा लिया, मैंने देखा पार्किंग में एसी फ्री स्पेस. मेरे को समझ ही ना आया मैं गाड़ी लगाऊँ कहाँ पे यार. अगर एक पार्किंग स्पेस होती मैं तो डाल देता हूँ, है ना. बट मैं सोचूं नहीं, ये बेटर रहेगा. नहीं, ये ज़्यादा पास है, बट ये दोनों ही पास है. अब मैं रिवर्स कहाँ से अच्छा कर पाऊँ? Too many options, right?
Generally with Netflix also, supposedly I have
Right.
There are too many options, even when I'm searching for which web series or movie to go with. I
Right.
think I'll at the end get confused which one to watch.
And even when Netflix has an algorithm which suggests movies
We
according
see
to your liking, still you do not find the right choice. Right? So now you're breaking it down. So the problem lies over here within you. Right? We are the first generation which is consuming this massive amount of data. No other generation has consumed content the way we do. Right? So this is a fundamental problem in all people right now. What do you think is the solution for this?
I feel everyone has their own perception, everyone has their own perspective. That is why on YouTube also we can have videos related to stuff, but sometimes that might not align with our thinking. Maybe.
So YouTube will have an algorithm. है ना boss? ये algorithm है. Computer science है ना? They have an algorithm. वो suggest ही वो करते हैं जो आपके liking पे, जो आपके search history के basis पे आपको दिखता ही वो है. तो किसी की बात मत मानना जब कहना यार ये तो गलती से ad आ गई. वो बंदा पहले भी नहीं करता. So ऐसे भी. What do we choose then?
I think we could have a platform where everything is a concise way.
What is the solution though? Anybody? What's the solution? So personal decisive, right? Have you seen how many startups have come up in the in the wellness space? Mind Valley, right? Meditation, the mind space. They now make products also, I believe. फिर आपको साइकोलॉजी बेस्ड कितने स्टार्टअप्स आ गए हैं, राइट? जो थेरेपी भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं आपको, दे हेल्प यू विद क्लैरिटी एटसेट्रा, बिकॉज दे रियलाइज कि ह्यूमन इज नाउ कंफ्यूज्ड और ह्यूमन डज नॉट नो हाउ टू डिसाइड. सेल्फ हेल्प गुरुज कितने आ गए हैं? क्यों? क्योंकि लोगों को सबको यही प्रॉब्लम आ गई है कि वो कंफ्यूज्ड बैठे हैं यार. आजकल हर दूसरी किताब एक सेल्फ हेल्प किताब होती है. इकिगाई, सीक्रेट 7 which became the biggest, people they were going crazy over it, right? So there are solutions, but that still they've not arrived at the right solution. So the solution can come in any form, right? So would I want to start up in this broader category के लोग decide नहीं कर पाते? I would narrow it down first, right? I would narrow it down. So let's say that my confusion, I have too many options in my career option, right? मेरे को ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है. मैंने काउंसलिंग भी ले ली है, but it has not worked out for me. इंटर्नशिप सिर्फ 2 जगहों पे कर ली है, so एक्सपीरियंस भी ले लिया है, but मेरे पास चौथा भी ऑप्शन है, पंजवा भी ऑप्शन है. It's still not working out. So what do I do then? Right? Let's brainstorm together. You know how people are gamifying things today? Let's just talk about little games. Do you think you can create work simulations for people where you actually get an experience of the work environment in specific industries? For example, if I were to be your consultant, I would actually get projects of similar projects to a consultant, and I'll get to experience that. I'll get to experience the work that they do, right? But again, the work environment is different. लोगों का experience मैं कैसे लूँ? वो तो internship के through ही होगा, right? So maybe you could be a company which, let's say I am a startup. मैं 10 companies के पास जाता हूँ, मैं कहता हूँ देखो internship का time नहीं है, हम क्या करते हैं, हम 1 week programs करते हैं, right? My student is going to come to your company for 1 week, then another company for 1 week, then another company for 1 week. अब एक हफ्ते में आपने जो काम कराओ, आपके पास अलग-अलग लोग होंगे, right? But मेरे student को हर कंपनी का एक्सपीरियंस भी मिल रहा है, राइट? एंड आपको एक स्टूडेंट मिल रहा है काम करने के लिए, मतलब लो स्टाइपेंड का, और मे बी अ लो स्टाइपेंड. बट विल दिस वर्क? बिकॉज आपको स्टूडेंट हैज टू बी देयर फॉर सम टाइम, दे हैव टू हैव अ फेमिलियर फेस. आर यू विद मी हियर? How we just constantly thinking with one problem, we're thinking of different solutions. So उसमें जो उन्होंने बोला था, relevance, solvability, marketability. Is this actually relevant? This is relevant. Is it marketable? No, maybe it's not marketable because a company will say, yeah, I want a student for 1 month. मेरे को उसको सिखाना है कि ये कंपनी चलती कैसे है. And वो student कहेगा मैं unsettled हो ही जा रहा हूँ बार-बार. So it's not marketable, therefore it is not solvable. Right? So we think of a different solution. So what is the other solution for this? So let's move on from here. Let's move on from clarity. So confusion maybe आप segmentation करो, right? For example, Netflix has their own solution for it. आप लोगों को जैसे इसका solution हो गया कि if you want to choose a movie, you have different reviews etc. to be able to choose a movie. Exist करता ही है, but that also doesn't work. But और क्या मतलब content वो भी consume ही कर रहे हो, but still there is no solution to it, so we don't know, right? Unless there is some sort of an algorithm or something in the future which can actually detect your feeling in that moment and be able to tell you, you know what, this is the right mood. So mood based. I want 3 categories. I want something emotional. I want something like X movie. I want something like Kalona Off.
Sometimes we know that we had these things to watch, but nothing else.
Absolutely. Right. So creativity. Keep thinking creatively. Another problem. और भी कोई प्रॉब्लम? देखो हम इतनी छोटी सी मतलब इसका मतलब बंदा सोचेगा यार क्या तुम स्टार्टअप करें तो पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम है, बट पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम्स में भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, तो घबराओ मत प्रॉब्लम बताने से। हर चीज में अपॉर्चुनिटी है, हर चीज में। मैं सर से बात कर रहा था स्पोर्ट्स में कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटी है, राइट? आपने ये कोई जिम जाता है यहाँ पे BCAs BAs सुने, ये सारे रिकवरी सप्लीमेंट्स हैं, राइट? बट ये सिर्फ एथलीट्स मतलब जिम कोर्स के लिए बने हैं। एथलीट्स के लिए क्या है, फुटबॉलर्स एटसेट्रा के लिए कोई सप्लीमेंट है जो सिर्फ एथलीट्स को एडवर्टाइज करते हैं गेटरेड के अलावा? फास्टिंग डाउन अप आया है बट वो भी इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स है। और कोई है ऐसा कम आपने सुनी है किसी ने? बिकॉज ऐसी ज्यादा एग्जिस्ट करती नहीं है, अगर करती है तो मतलब दे नॉट फाइंडली अवेलेबल, दे नॉट अवेलेबल टू द एवरेज पर्सन हु गोस टू प्ले फुटबॉल एट सम क्लब, राइट? सो हर चीज में अपॉर्चुनिटी है। एनी अदर प्रॉब्लम?
Our generations, where our parents are about to retire in like the next 10 years maybe, so they have their last 10 years of their jobs and etc. So they don't have a fixed retirement plan or something like how will they invest their money or somewhere, for example, a personal experience.
So investing money is a separate problem.
Yeah.
Retirement plan is a separate. You're talking about 2-3 different problems here. For example, what do I do in the next 10 years is completely different from where I invest, because where I invest, the second I retire, I'm getting a call from ITSC, I'm getting a call from HTSC, I'm getting a call from DBS, and they are telling me, आप यहाँ पैसा लगाओ, यहाँ पैसा लगाओ, वहाँ पैसा लगाओ, but मैं करूँ क्या खुद? उसके solutions कर रहे। As a person, what do I do? So you get my point? These are two different problems. So which one do you want to talk about right now?
अभी invest करने वाला।
Invest करने वाला, ठीक है।
So for example, if for example, in case of the parents, if you take an average family, if they're earning 2.5 lakh, 2 lakh a month, their monthly income, so where should they invest? If they are just taking their FDs or RDs, you can just take what low, and there's like very conventional method जो इतने सालों से हमारे parents invest कर ही रहे हैं, तो अभी भी still when there's some of their FD or RD matures, तो वो बैठ के सोच रहे हैं कि अब हम कहाँ invest करें? Still they have a glitch in their mind, mutual funds को लेके कि are they safe, are they not safe, because they're उनकी hard earned money है, तो they do not.
So you would say risk factor कम होता है as they grow, as they.
नहीं, I want to build a platform, मतलब जो ऐप होगी, जो ऐसे मैंने क्या सोचा था, combining the retirement plan and the investment. For example, if person अपना वो प्रोफाइल बनाएगा, उसमें वो डालेगा कि उनकी कितनी जॉब के years बचे हैं. For example, if they are 10 years remaining, उनकी मंथली सैलरी क्या है वो, एंड उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो मतलब ऐप होगी उसमें सारा डेटा होगा फ्रॉम एवरी सोर्स लाइक फ्रॉम बैंक्स, पोस्ट ऑफिस, म्यूचुअल फंड, स्टॉक मार्केट, इट विल हैव नो नॉलेज जो हमें डेटाबेस पे फीड करना पड़ेगा एंड एवरीथिंग. तो उसके हिसाब से वो आफ्टर द प्रोफाइल असेसमेंट वो ऐप हमें बताएगी कि जो कैंडिडेट है उसके लिए कौन सा इन्वेस्टिंग ऑप्शन बेटर रहेगा उसकी रिटायरमेंट प्लान के लिए. और इसके साथ साथ ही उसी ऐप में सिस्टम कंबाइन की, जैसे आर पेरेंट्स अप टू द एज ऑफ 60, so their children will not be home sitting with them, so वो अपने आप को बिजी भी कैसे रखें उस तरीके से भी they are living like a satisfied kind of.
What are the charges for the platform?
ये भी सोचना है कि
So banks actually offer a person to help you invest.
yeah,
Personalized.
they are the personal assistant that the HDFC provides a quality भी आता है, but वो हर बैंक का नहीं है ना, मतलब हर बैंक का जैसे इंटरेस्ट रेट डिफरेंट है, तो वो हमको ऐसा
So आप
सब कुछ कोलैबोरेट करके एक बेस्ट प्लान बताए जो आपकी प्रोफाइल के हिसाब से बेस्ट सूट करता है.
बट आई गेस जो रियलिटी में देखें हमारे आसपास के लोग बहुत होते हैं जो बता दें कहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट कर सके,
या फिर
रिश्तेदारों
या फिर उसके लिए फैमिली प्लानिंग.
But ये कह रही है कि अगर आप मेरे को सॉरी आप पहले कंप्लीट
या उसके लिए फैमिली प्लानिंग एनालिसिस होता है, उनकी फीस ओवरऑल ज़्यादा होती है, बट वो ऐसी कस्टमाइज्ड प्लान्स का
इस मैंने तो नहीं सुना था फैमिली प्लान जो है.
फैमिली प्लान
मैंने
SIP etc. So basically ये कह रहे हैं कि करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, आज आप मेरे को कह रहे हैं यार इस कंपनी में पैसे लगा दे, मेरे पैसे 2 साल में डबल हो जाएंगे. वो मेरे को कह रहा है नहीं भाई तो उसमें ना लगा, तो इंडिया बुल्स में लगा. वो कह रहे हैं नहीं भाई तो रिलायंस में लगा. मैं यार मुझे 3 बंदे कह रहे हैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से, मैं किस में लगाऊंगा, है ना? मैं जाता हूँ सकता हूँ कि ये मेरे को आउटकम चाहिए, इतने मेरे पास पैसे हैं, है ना? अब करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, मैं कहता हूँ कि मेरे पास 200 रुपये लगाने के लिए 200 रुपये में मेरे को इतना रिटर्न चाहिए, मैं किस में पैसे लगाऊं और मैं इससे ज़्यादा लगा ही नहीं सकता, मैं क्या करूँगा? इसका प्लेटफॉर्म को जवाब देगी, है ना? किस बेसिस पे? डेटा। करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, ये जस्ट मेक assumption है कि डेटा पे ही होएगा, तो और कोई एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता वैसे ना। सो दैट्स व्हाट शी थिंक। अच्छा बिफोर so we'll talk about the ecosystem enablers for like about 15-20 minutes because it's not a very long topic, right? Because इसमें मैंने आपको यही समझाना है कि अच्छा कौन से organizations हैं हमारे पंजाब में, कौन से incubators हैं, कहाँ आप जा सकते हो, किसके पास जा सकते हो, किस टाइप का support मिलेगा. But what's more important is that you actually think of an idea. So let's focus on that, right? Because I thought that there are also going to be people who that everyone is going to have a startup idea, right? So it's very important that we come up with the ideas first. And in the next session, there will be a next session. I'll talk to Vikram sir also. Then we will use the canvas and fill up your ideas on that canvas and help you build it, right? But पहले आइडिया वाले सोचते हैं. अच्छा यहाँ पे किसी का चल रहा है अभी, मतलब दिमाग बहुत चल रहा है अभी, किसी ने आइडिया के बारे में कुछ सोचे? You have something in mind? नहीं? कुछ तो सोच होएगा यहाँ बैठे बैठे. कोई प्रॉब्लम, चलो प्रॉब्लम छोड़ो, सेक्टर्स को भी देख सकते हो आप. दिस इज अनदर वेरी गुड वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट इट. लेट्स टेक एनी सेक्टर एज एन एग्जांपल एंड डोंट गिव मी अ सेक्टर जिसमें बिजनेस ही बिजनेस है. गिव मी सम सेक्टर जिसमें थोड़ा सा, राइट? कैन यू थिंक ऑफ वन?
I thought it would be a great idea when you said that we could have job simulations, like a plan to get like first-hand experience, so that like my job experience would be able to bring job.
Right? So you create simulations there. You know the widest part? I thought of that while standing over there. Right? Why? Because I'm talking to you guys and thinking about myself. Because मेरा वो मन अभी इस तरफ चल रहा है. और कोई बात नहीं है. It doesn't take genius to come up with an idea, right? You just have to think in that direction. तो अभी हम सारे इकट्ठे होकर दो तीन आइडियाज वाले सोचते हैं. So what do you mean the simulation? What will work? What won't work? Why is this idea? Why is it going to be relevant? You know it's relevant. Why is it marketable? Why is it? How is it going to be sold? Let's think about that. Go ahead, speak.
Create like a 3D simulation like in the metaverse, and the user would decide if they
The metaverse. This is where the solvability comes into question. When metaverse, what metaverse? अभी आपने और प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. कब होएगा वो? कितने लोग आएंगे मेटावर्स पे? कितने लोग नहीं आएंगे? You know, it's a little far-fetched. But ये जो स्टॉक मार्केट सिमुलेशंस है, ये तो नॉर्मल गेमिफाई करा बस इन्होंने. They're not dependent on metaverse or anything, right? It's just a gamified thing. So how do you create that experience? किसी ने Among Us खेला? You know what Among Us is?
Yes.
So can someone explain Among Us?
There's basically one imposter to be
Right. So imposter क्या करता है?
that is not
किनको मारता है imposter? जो लोग टास्क कर रहे होते हैं, है ना? और आप सारे अपने दोस्तों से बात करते हो through Discord सारे यूज करते हैं, right? So let's say I have gamified this entire simulation. मैं अब एक I get into a room for 1 week. We are going to run this consultancy whatever simulation, right? And Discord पे हम सारे बात कर रहे हैं. हमें टास्क्स मिलते हैं. हमने ये टास्क्स कंप्लीट करने हैं. बट हमें इंसेंटिवाइजेशन इसके बीच में हो रही है. इंसेंटिव कैसे मिलेगा? अब इसके बारे में सोचते हैं. You think that is more viable? Yeah, we use more of a Among Us model kind of a thing, right? Talk via Discord, complete our tasks. Doable? But मेरा अब सवाल ये आता है, यार एक बंदा इतना ही मतलब उसको वो दिल से वो एक want आनी चाहिए to actually do those tasks every day without getting anything in return. Why would any single person actually get on the internet and complete tasks for which they are getting nothing? I want to work, or I work because I am paid. Right? If I am not paid, if I am not given my, if I don't have any incentive, why would I do it? How do you incentivize that? Do you then collaborate with the companies and say, dude, listen, we are running these simulations, right? We will get your tasks done in an online manner. We will submit those tasks through an AI algorithm. You will get to see कौन से tasks अच्छे हैं, कौन से नहीं हैं. आपकी खुद cancel out हो जाएंगे. And plus you will get the top 5 tasks and there you go. आपका solve हो गया through the simulator. Is that possible? Something like that. Right? So would you say that it fits our criteria? Solvable, marketable? Will it work? थोड़ा ज़्यादा far-fetched नहीं है? Would you want to try to do this?
I mean, it could work because like you could create something like it's basically like have you heard of the site Warrior Plus?
Which one?
Warrior Plus. I mean, it's basically the same. They provide a number of tasks, and whoever does it the best has receives the incentive money. Warrior Plus.
So it's a task-based thing, huh?
Yeah, it's basically affiliate.
Right. But again, I'm doing very intensive tasks over there. I need some incentive also now. Why would I spend so much time doing these intensive tasks if I'm not getting my? What's due to? It's as simple as that. How do I incentivize them? Anyone? It's not just simple. You have something in mind? You have something in mind? Right, but we spoke about clarity, right? They do not have clarity on what they want to do. So we are talking about actually minimizing the decision-taking process by giving them an experience of all the things that they are confused about. Right? For example, if I put Pepsi, Coke, and Sprite in front of you, they haven't tried any of the three. Now right? You have to try one of the three of them to know what you want. Right? So that is what we are trying to achieve over here. Improving the decision-making process. Right? So through the problem statement, we arrive to this solution. Right? So then intelligence. Let's talk about another problem. You have something in mind? Anything? Okay, let's keep this on the side and let's talk about another problem. Anyone?
We can give them another voucher like एक दिन के उन्हें टास्क करने
वो आपकी कॉस्ट पे आ जाता है तो क्या करें? किसके साथ कोलैबोरेट कर रहे हो? मतलब वो आपकी कॉस्ट पे आ रहा है ना? कितने पैसे ले रहे हो? How are you making money then?
There would be a membership fee over year and period.
You give me membership fee. फिर तो आप स्टाइपेंड ही दे दो इससे अच्छा, है ना?
कम नहीं है, stipend ज़्यादा।
तो मेंबरशिप फी में आप एक साल की लो एंड प्रो के हर टास्क का स्टाइपेंड है ना?
हर टास्क का नहीं, फिर हमें बहुत ज़्यादा कॉस्टिंग पड़ जाएगी। लाइक टॉप परफॉर्मर ऑफ द डे, लाइक मैंने परफॉर्म करा टॉप पे तो मेरे को 10 पॉइंट दिए, 10 पॉइंट
And in the end, points को convert करा पैसे में. That's a very good idea. That's great. I think that's a solid idea. Yeah, that could work. That could definitely work. Anyone else? So let's think about a separate problem, right? And now we will get to the solution side of things. Are you guys thinking of any startup idea thing sitting over here? That's what I want to know right now. Forget any problem statement that I will give you. Are you thinking of a startup idea over here? Anyone? What about you? आपके मन में कुछ नहीं आ रहा? Exchange books.
Yes, like after once we are done reading the book.
I think this exists. एक बार search करो. एक बार search.
Basically, books generally are kept on our bookshelves and we have no.
I get your point because I like to read more.
Yes.
And I have too many books, but I also like seeing the books on my bookshelf. It's,
Yes,
I like it.
but we can exchange that book.
I think we have to reach that point at some stage, considering that so much paper is being. So for sustainability purposes, we do have to do that.
Yes, there is one book exchange.
There is. What's it called?
Book exchange.
It's called book exchange. Right. Anyone else?
Why do we can build a
To build a new one, but okay, can you beat them?
So we see the
So we'll talk about market competition also. We're coming up with a startup idea. Can I come up with another startup which does home delivery? The way Zomato does? Why? Can I come up with another startup that does home delivery? The same as Zomato. Similar to Zomato. अगर मैं एक मछली को एक समुद्र में डालूं जहाँ पर सिर्फ शार्क्स हैं, वो मछली सर्वाइव करेगी, शार्क उसको खा जाएगी. If a deer walks into a crocodile will get it. They are bigger than me.
एग्जीक्यूशन उनकी अच्छी है बेसिकली.
They are renowned players. वो मार्केट में सबसे बड़े हैं यार, सब उनके पास ही जाते हैं. मैं तो छोटा प्लेयर हूँ उनके सामने. राइट? तो इधर तीन सवाल आ जाते हैं. मार्केट शेयर कितना उन्होंने अपने लिए कैप्चर किया, है ना? फॉर एग्जांपल धवल कह रहा था कि आपके साथ हमारी कंपेटिटर है, उन्होंने कितना मार्केट शेयर कैप्चर किया, हाउ प्रोमिनेंट आर दे, लोगों का कितना भरोसा है उन पे. मतलब कई लोगों को तो जोमेटो पे इतना भरोसा है, लोगों को जोमेटो और स्विगी पे इतना भरोसा है कि कोई आएगा, फूड पैंडा आएगा, उबर ईट्स आएगा, nobody looked at them also that because Zomato and Swiggy were the two names and उसके आगे कुछ नहीं. Right? And how flawless is their execution? How good are their networks? Will we be able to beat those networks? I mean, probably no. Right? Because they are sharks in this particular market, in this particular industry. So the startup idea that you come up with, right? You have to do competition analysis. You have to know that you can enter this market and actually successfully capture this market. Right? So market analysis is essential, important. And on the basis of that, you must see if your startup idea will be viable. Right? Alright guys, so once you do come up with a startup idea, what do we do next? You come to the same place where you're sitting right now, you come to Innovation Mission Punjab, and we will help you slowly build your startup idea. Right? So now we're going to speak about ecosystem enablers for about 10-15 minutes. Doesn't need a long time, you just need to know the basics. Okay? So enablers are essentially, once you come up with a startup idea, there are different stages of an idea. You have an idea stage, you have a prototype stage, you have an MVP stage, right? And at every different stage, there are different interventions. For example, at an idea stage, essentially your idea needs to be validated, right? You need to have access to resources to actually to build a prototype or build an MVP, right? You need to come up with a strategy, a business model, and then take it forward from there, right? So for an idea stage, if the intervention is separate, you need to go to the right organization which will support your idea stage startup, right? So over there, your college E-cell is going to be essential, right? Or you come to Innovation Mission Punjab, and we have a fail fast program where we will help you validate your idea stage startup, right? So once your idea validation is done, what do you do next? Right? You develop a prototype of your service, of your product, whatever it is. Website बनानी है, application बनाना है, product, physical, tangible product आपने एक बनाना है ना? उसके लिए क्या करोगे? You have to go to an incubator which has an expertise in that field. For example, we will go to CIIT, PGI, right? Which is an incubator in the healthcare space, right? They will help him develop his product. They will help him with his data sets. They will help him with the validation of his product, his prototype, right? But there are some incubators which specialize just in the business aspect of things, right? Which are those incubators? One such incubator is High-Rise at ISER, ISB, the Indian School of Business. Some incubators focus on biotechnology, right? That you have ISER also focuses on that, right? Some incubators only focus on agriculture and water. You have Avadh at IIT Ropar for that, right? So for every industry, for every market, for every need, for every intervention, there is a different organization, right? अभी मैं आपको सारे दिखाऊंगा, आप रट्टे तो मारने वाले हो नहीं. So I'm going to share a link with Vikram sir, and Vikram sir can share that, or I'll share a link with you, just share it with everyone, right? You go to our website. Do you have your phones?
Yes.
Go to our website, iampunjab.org. Oh, there you go on networks. So you know the incubator network from that. Explore more. And you can see the list of all these incubators. You have the links. You can see their expertise, key area of expertise, right? So whichever incubator is relevant to your startup, you can apply to them directly by going to the website, or you get in touch with someone from Team Innovation Mission Punjab and we will make the connection, right? So there are some okay, once you guys just go through it, I'll get back to you. Just go through it once. सबने देख लिया? Right? So we have some interventions with incubators. The first intervention is the pie matchmaking. So the pie matchmaking is essentially an event where we connect your startup to an incubator. So all these incubators that you see on the list, at least about 60-70% of them, depending on their availability, come to this office, sit over here and meet with the startups directly. There is a one-on-one meeting that takes place between you and the incubator. आप अपना startup explain करते हो. अगर उस incubator को लगता है कि आपका startup सही है, उनके incubator के लिए वो आपको incubate करेंगे, right? Then they will help you build your business model, they will help you build your prototype, etc., so on and so forth, right? The other thing now is mentorship after your idea stage, right? How do you connect to mentors? Through our programs. Firstly, the incubation program will help you connect to mentors. Then we have a virtual acceleration program called the B.Voc program, which is a long virtual program. I mean, it's changing, so I don't want to give you a fixed timeline, right? But over there, we help you connect to mentors. And in the end, you have a pitch day. So you pitch to a group of investors and incubators, and you get the opportunity to pick up funding depending on the stage of the startup, right? Third thing is when you come to the stage where you are ready for funding, growth stage, right? So, again, you have to be a part of one of our programs, either an accelerator program, right? And we have different accelerator programs depending on the industry or the focus area of your startup, right? And in the end of the program, again, you get a chance to connect with investors. But for you right now, the most important ecosystem enablers are the incubators which exist, the e-cells in your colleges. So sometimes in your college, the incubator or the e-cell may not have an expertise in your industry or field yet. So don't hesitate in reaching out to another institute and reaching out to their box in order to get the expertise you require. Don't hesitate in that, please. Right? Because at the end of the day, we have to. Can't be restricted by our own, right? So these are the interventions that we offer. These are the ecosystem players that are relevant and important. And if you need to connect with any of them, you get in touch with us. All right? Is there anything you guys want to know more about the startup ecosystem? Any questions you may have? Okay. For example, आपको क्या अच्छा मेरे को third party manufacturer से connect करना है, मैं वो कैसे करूँगा? Right? अपने टी-शर्ट बनाने हैं, तो मैं मैन्युफैक्चरर से कैसे कनेक्ट करूँगा? आप मेरे से पूछो ऐसे सवाल, डिजाइनर से कैसे कनेक्ट करते हैं? आप मेरे से ऐसे सवाल पूछो, और मैं आपको जवाब दूँगा।
Currently, we are facing the problem of designer वाली बात करिए।
Designer वाली बात, so you come in a program, we will make that relevant connect. But you have to be a part of a program for that, because this is a more systematic program. Fail fast program. But of course, it can't be promised. It depends on the need also. We need to get सारे डिजाइनर की लाइन लगा देंगे आपके सामने more systematic. Talk to us about this. We will see what we can do best within our own field. We can tell you how to reach out to them. Sometimes we will give you the podcast. But we'll tell you how. Right? Anyone else? Any other question? Genesis. So they want you to put in money, and they put in money. It's a grant. Okay. So let's discuss this later. Right? Firstly, have you applied for a grant anywhere else within India? Startup India Seed Fund के लिए apply करो. Grant के लिए तो DPID registration के लिए कराओ. वो सबसे पहले वो कराओ. Anyone else? No? So we good then? Alright, great, perfect. Thank you so much for being here. I hope these two sessions were valuable to you and you got to learn something. Right? So, just raise your hand if you found this valuable. You just want to take a good feedback also. So you can raise your hands if this helped. And it's okay, if it didn't help, you don't need to raise your hand.
What was that?